Since colonial times, America has sought to expand westward. But before creating a connection to the frontier, we would first have to construct a vast network of bridges, railroads, and tunnels across our nation's landscape. In the 19th century, the Hoosac Mountain in North Adams, Massachusetts, stood as a great natural barrier that limited commerce between the merchants and the western part of the state. In an effort to open more efficient and profitable trade routes, a plan for tunneling through the mountain to connect Boston and Albany by rail was proposed. On to Hoosac, on to the west. That was the rallying cry used by the Troy and Greenfield Railroad line. But the Hoosac Tunnel would soon become known as one of the most extensive engineering efforts ever undertaken, haunted by a series of unexplained events and terrible tragedies. From the very beginning, the project was beset with problems. It took years to acquire building permits. Rival railroads set out to stop its construction. And in 1851, after digging finally commenced for the unprecedented 4.7-mile-long tunnel, the $25,000 custom-made drilling machine had failed, getting stuck after cutting only 12 feet into the mountain. But supporters of the project would stop at nothing to break through the political red tape and logistical setbacks, and introduced the first commercial use of the dangerous and unstable explosive nitroglycerin. The project was once again underway, but now it was overdue, over budget, and increasingly unsafe. In 1865, explosive experts Ringo Kelly, Ned Brinkman, and Billy Nash were laying down the explosives to blast the rock from inside the mountain. Just prior to detonation, Nash and Brinkman were to seek shelter at a nearby safety point. But before they could reach it, Kelly detonated the nitroglycerin prematurely, and the two men were crushed under tons of rock. After the accident, Kelly disappeared and wasn't seen again until 1 year later, when a tunnel crew discovered his body in the exact same spot where the explosion had occurred the year before. Strangely, the coroner determined that Kelly's cause of death was strangulation, and that it happened only a few hours before his body was found. The mystery surrounding his death caused ill ease among the miners, who reported hearing men's voices groaning in agony deep within the tunnel. The men began complaining, some refusing to work. The foreman told the workers, "Forget the noise, it's just the wind." But the complaints grew more frequent, and workers started refusing to enter the tunnel after sundown. The foreman contacted a mechanical engineer, Paul Travers, and they traveled 2 miles into the tunnel to investigate. As they reached the spot, they stopped to listen. They stood in the cold silence and heard with their own ears what truly sounded like a man crying out in pain. Both men agreed that the sounds they heard that night could not have been the wind. 1 month later, disaster struck again, this time the worst in the tunnel's history. 13 men were working in the shaft in the middle of the mountain when suddenly fumes from a flammable lamp ignited, causing a massive explosion that rained down debris on the crew below. It took over a year to recover all of the bodies of the victims. During that time, villagers told tales of strange shapes and muffled wails coming from within the tunnel. Workers were said to have seen lost miners on the mountaintop, carrying picks and shovels into a shroud of mist and snow. And after the final victim's body was buried, the sightings of the miners mysteriously ceased. In 1875, construction was finally completed, and the tunnel had successfully linked trading to the west. But the nearly 25-year, $21 million dig through the mountain had also claimed the lives of close to 200 men, earning it the name, the Bloody Pit. Some wonder if the tragedies and setbacks were a result of a curse from a mountain that would have been better left undisturbed, while others tell stories of strange sights and unsettling sounds that continue to haunt visitors to this day.
My name is Folklorist Noga, and I go to Memorial Spalding School, and this is the story of Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin was born in January 17, 1706. Benjamin Franklin was one of America's founding fathers. During the colonial times, he was the 6th president of Pennsylvania. Ben was in office October 18, 1785 through November 5, 1788. Benjamin Franklin was a politician, writer, inventor, musician, and a scientist. He invented the lightning rod. He coined electrical terms still used today, the terms positive and negative, which signify the electric charge, which is another word he defined. He also gave us the word battery. He invented the bifocal glasses so people won't have to be frustrated by switching 2 pairs of glasses to correct their vision. He spent half his life in retirement. With his self-made wealth, he was able to retire at the age of 42, halfway through 84 years of life. Benjamin Franklin's on the $100 bill.
It's all about Benjamin's baby.
NewTV's original program, The Folklorist, has just won its 2nd Emmy Award. Congratulations to John Horrigan for his win in the program host-moderator category. And congratulations to the production team and cast for creating a captivating and inspiring program.
Hello, friend. Welcome to The Folklorist.
The Folklorist, only on NewTV.
Did you know the Moonville Tunnel in Ohio is considered to be haunted by a headless railroad conductor who is said to be carrying a lantern? Stories have been passed on through the ages by written and oral traditions. But before there was radio, TV, and the internet, there was another way to distribute information that had the ability to educate, influence, and entertain. The power of the press. In 1835, the American newspaper industry was booming and faced heavy competition. In an effort to boost circulation, a 2-year-old paper called the New York Sun lowered its price to 1 cent, beginning the era of the penny press and making newspapers affordable to everyone. But the paper would have to turn to more sensational and attention-grabbing stories to meet the demands of their new audience. On August 25th, the first installment of 6 articles under the headline Great Astronomical Discoveries appeared on the front page of the New York Sun. The series went into lengthy detail, outlining evidence of life on the moon. But there was just one problem. None of it was true. The articles were authored by Sun journalist Richard Locke, who was writing under the alias of Dr. Andrew Grant. He cited the Edinburgh Journal of Science as the source of the story, crediting Sir John Herschel, a respected and well-known astronomer, for these great discoveries. The story claimed that Herschel had made some amazing scientific discoveries on the moon by means of an immense telescope. The massive telescope had the ability to view in great clarity even the smallest forms of life due to its second lens, the hydro-oxygen microscope, which allowed for further magnification. Unicorns, 2-legged beavers, and bat-like winged men roamed the lunar surface, which was covered in forests, beaches, and even sapphire temples. After the story was printed, the paper's circulation rose to nearly 20,000, the largest in the world. But not everyone caught the fever. Rival editor of the New York Herald, James Bennett, was suspicious. As soon as he started raising questions about the existence of this great telescope, the final installment of the story was published, which claimed that it was destroyed after Herschel left it pointed at the sun. In addition, Bennett uncovered that the article's source, the Edinburgh Journal of Science, had ceased publication 2 years earlier. Then, Bennett attempted to unveil the true identity of the author, the mysterious Dr. Grant. He used editorials in the Herald that refuted the lunar story and put pressure on Richard Locke to admit penning this felonious forgery. Soon news of the grand discoveries of life on the moon spread to Europe, catching the attention of the then very real and respected Sir John Herschel. At first amused, Herschel soon became annoyed at the false claims made by the paper. He denied his involvement with the New York Sun, as well as the existence of the enormous telescope. After several weeks, the Sun eventually admitted to the hoax, but never issued a retraction. And it was only after Richard Locke had left the paper that he finally laid claim to the Great Moon Hoax. The 6 articles published by the New York Sun in 1835 successfully grabbed the public's attention. It's remembered as one of the greatest media hoaxes in history that brought about a new age of ethics in journalism. Citing sources and fact-checking would become mandatory in news reporting, setting a higher standard of credibility and separating the line between fact and fiction. There's more to come on The Folklorist. Did you know that Sir John Herschel's father William was another famous astronomer who in 1787 claimed to have seen lights on the moon? He attributed the glowing red spots to erupting volcanoes on the lunar surface. Is there some folklore in your town? Well, let us know about it. Send us an email, folklorist@newtv.org. We'd love to hear about it. We will decide what you see. We will determine what you hear. We will control what you're watching, because we know what's best for you. And in the television broadcast industry, we want to keep you safe with programming you can trust. You can trust. On rare occasions, outside forces have taken hold of the airwaves, interrupting your regularly scheduled program. This was the case for a string of bizarre events in the 1980s, where unsuspecting audiences were witness to a series of strange disruptions. It's a Saturday night, 1986. Television viewers across the country have tuned in for a late-night movie on HBO, a channel that had recently started charging for their services. While most viewers had no problem with the fee, some felt the cost was too high. Surprised audiences watched as the cryptic message held their screen captive for nearly 5 minutes, all the while wondering who was behind the interruption. It was John McDougal, a satellite dish salesman from Florida. In past months, he watched his sales plummet as potential dish owners learned they would have to pay extra for premium channels like HBO. To make up for the loss, He earned extra money at a satellite uplink facility where he transmitted television signals to homes across the country. With the technical knowledge and the necessary equipment at his disposal, McDougal saw a unique opportunity to make a statement under the name Captain Midnight. This incident caught the attention of the FBI, and after a brief investigation, McDougal was caught and fined for his behavior, serving as a warning to future airwave hijackers. But one group from Chicago was so fond of the pirate broadcast, they set out to cause a little trouble of their own.
Max Headroom here with... This is my guest.
Children of the 1980s remember Max Headroom as the wisecracking spokesman for Coca-Cola. And just 18 months after the Captain Midnight incident, viewers were greeted with someone posing as this familiar television icon when they least expected it. Airwaves were under attack, and just 2 hours later, during the broadcast of a popular PBS show, Max Headroom was about to give an encore performance.
I'll get you a hot drink.
People were caught off guard by these interruptions, including some government agencies who took these signal intrusions very seriously. But the pseudo Max Headroom was never caught and may still be out there today. Perhaps lurking within a new medium, like the internet, promoting an agenda far beyond mischief, under the guise of a social cause.
Can you concern with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now.
No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite.
Unearth hidden passion.
Come on, we'll have a good time.
Plant seeds of inspiration to motivate some magic.
Change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall.
And make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the first thing that helps to change a life.
People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Disclaimer. With folklore, sometimes the biggest casualty is fact. But please, keep watching.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Or you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your
likes you.
kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Did you know in November of 1977, a British TV newscast was interrupted by a voice claiming to be an alien? His message for planet Earth was, "We come to warn you of the destiny of your world. You must live in peace or leave the galaxy." The person responsible for this hoax has never come forward.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
I'm Folklorist Larissa, and this was Folklorist Jahki, and we're going to be talking about Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was born in California, February 24th, 1955, and adopted by Paul and Clara Jobs. In high school, Steve met Stefan Wonkas, and together they built a circuit board. Steve first started working at a place called Atari, one of the world's first gaming companies. Later on, Steve and Stefan created a computer and decided to call it Apple. And their first computer was sold in 1976 for $666.66. Most people say he changed the way the world communicates. But in 2003, he was diagnosed with cancer and a brain tumor. And in 2011, Steve Jobs died. Steve Jobs was loved by all of his employees and for some reason didn't wear shoes to his work. He inspires everyone to dream big and work hard.
Morning. It's the middle of the night. Tell you, Russo, this blackout's getting to me, and it's getting to the city of Los Angeles. People are on edge. They're halfway crazy to begin with. My 5-minute ride now takes 25 minutes. Gotta drive slow without my headlights. Broken storefront window down the road. Somebody smashed the light bulb, trying to douse the light. Saw these kids throwing rocks at a neon sign the other night. Cop watching, all in the name of national defense. And then a woman outside, just lighting a cigarette. Air Raid warden walks up to her. Says, douse the light, you might give away our position. Oh, she did it again. You know something, Russo? It's been 3 months since Pearl Harbor. We ain't gonna get attacked. The war's over there now. 37th Coastal Battery, Horrigan speaking.
Horrigan, it's the General.
Yes, sir.
Get on the artillery.
Yes, General. Yellow alert. Green alert. Yes, sir.
And keep firing.
Right away, sir. Russo, incoming. Get on the spotlight. Hurry. Not on me, on the target out there. Give me those binoculars, right now. Get on the gun. Russo, get on the gun. Fire it. Fire the gun. Azimuth, 12 degrees. Range, 3 miles. Elevation, 9,000 feet. Fire it. That was dead on, nothing's happening. Again, Russo. Again. 57's firing on it, nothing's happening. What is that? They're in a V formation. I count 6. No, 9 objects. Let them have it, Russo. Let them have it. What a night. See this morning's paper, Russo? They're calling it the Battle of Los Angeles. There's always so much drama in this city. They're saying that we fired 1,500 rounds at a blimp or a weather balloon, according to this general. 37th Coastal Battery, Horrigan speak.
This is the General.
Yes, General.
What did you see last night?
Well, we saw 9 objects in V formation at 3,000.
Saw a weather balloon.
Yes, sir.
Did you see anything else?
No, sir.
Now you never repeat this.
I understand.
It's classified. Tell Russo.
Russo, last night, classified. I'll tell you what, what we fired on was no blimp and certainly no weather balloon. Again. Did you know? On the day following the attack on Pearl Harbor, New York City residents were thrown into hysteria when air raid sirens sounded and the Brooklyn Eagle ran the headline, "New York-bound enemy planes alarm entire Northeast." These tales of our ancestors that have been hidden over time are now revealed to a new generation who we entrust to keep their stories alive. We are the Folklorists, and this is the new history. Until next time.
NewTV's original program, The Folklorist, has just won its second Emmy Award. Congratulations to John Horrigan for his win in the program host-moderator category. And congratulations to the production team and cast for creating a captivating and inspiring program.
Hello, friend. Welcome to The Folklorist.
The Folklorist, only on NewTV.
Yes, I am.
Move! Give it to him hard!
No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why are you stabbing me with it? No.
They want to help,
Ow.
but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.